What is going on, guys? One more time bringing us a brand new Busch Gardens video. It's been a few weeks since we made a Busch Gardens video, but we got some new information about the big bad wolf, the wolf's revenge, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. I know some of you guys might be used to the Busch Gardens content being almost like a weekly thing, but with so many different types of content here on the channel, it's more just like I kind of go through a rotation of different videos. I want to make sure everything feels fresh and nothing feels like you're getting too much of one thing at once. Once May comes around and we get to the big bad wolf and the 50th anniversary stuff, it's going to be a lot of Busch Gardens content, so make sure, if you like Busch Gardens content, to go ahead and subscribe, because it's going to be another year full of Busch Gardens content here on the channel. Let's get it, because I love the park. And speaking of I love the park, I got a little gripe to pick with the park. So this information comes from a hard hat tour they had last week at Busch Gardens. Yo, Busch Gardens, your boy, who, you know, reps y'all, and has almost 100 videos on the channel about Busch Gardens, you know, like, I'm just saying. Could have been there. Could have filmed this stuff firsthand. We didn't have to be doing it in the studio. We could be talking about this stuff in the park. I'm just saying. Future reference. So if you guys are in the comments down below and you want to see your boy doing these hard hat tours at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, let him know. Respectfully. Because we love the park and we want to have a great relationship with the park. And I think a part of building that relationship is to attend these hard hat tours. So I see a lot of people getting invited, and I just, you know, I check my emails. I check my DMs. So Busch Gardens, you know, hit your boy up anytime. It's okay. With that being said, all that out the way, I mean, I'm half joking, half serious. I would love to go on the hard hat tours, obviously, and get to see a lot of these things firsthand and get to ask questions to the park president and Susie, who is the head of engineering and design. I got my own stuff I'm working on. I am not a theme park devoted channel, so I understand. So it's all good. But at Busch Gardens, if you want to, you know, invite me, you know, to any future media events and stuff, you know, I'm there. I want to be your best friend. Anyway, I'm harping on that for too long. They invited a lot of people out for some for a little preview of the construction for Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge. And I'm gonna use some footage here, probably from Edutainment. So thank you for filming that stuff. And I just want to kind of talk about some really cool elements that they've announced about the ride, some stuff that we speculated, some things that I talked about just going off of the concept art and what we have heard. First things first is we made a video a couple months ago talking about the trains, that little concept art that showed the trains. And I said, this might not be 100% what they look like, but this has to be pretty close. And it looks like that is going to be the case. They did not show the trains on the tour. One was in a building and one was in the Dark Coaster building. But President Kevin did say that they look pretty much just like what you saw in the concept art. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of differences. There's always a little bit of differences from the concept art to what it actually is. He says they look pretty similar. Now, the one thing that I theorized in the video that he said is not likely is lights on the train. He did cite that Phoenix Rising down at Busch Gardens Tampa does have lights on their train, but he said, I don't believe so. So it's not a 100% no, but I'm going to go with it's a no. But I do find it hard to believe that the eyes don't glow, because that's always been like a shtick about the Big Bad Wolf, is the eyes. So maybe not initially, maybe down the line they'll alter it and add lights to the eyes. But for right now, it looks like we're not getting it. But what we are getting for the first time at Busch Gardens on a roller coaster or any ride that's not a simulator or 4D dark ride, we're getting onboard audio, which is really cool. There's a lot of roller coasters that use onboard audio, like Rip Ride Rocket down at Universal Studios. I know Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind has some stuff. It's always really cool to help integrate you into the story of the ride. And they look like they're really harping on the story and really want to integrate you into the story, which is really cool, and something that I said was very evident considering how they revamped Loch Ness Monster, with you seeing the monster having a lot more thematic elements. I think they've heard fans really want a lot of theming in their rides, and they're really capitalizing on that, which is really freaking awesome. So we're going to have onboard audio, and I would assume maybe it's the wolf, like, because the train is the wolf's head. I'm assuming you're going to kind of hear the wolf as he's running through the village, which is awesome. Maybe some music too, which would be really cool. So we can actually hear the music, unlike Apollo's Chariot and Griffin for the very short period of time. But it's really cool. Verbolten and Dark Coaster do not have onboard audio. The audio is external, coming from speakers that you hear. Onboard audio will mean speakers that are directly on the train right here behind your ears, and you're going to be hearing some cool sounds and music, which is really cool, and I'm super excited about. Now, talking about the village, one thing that's really cool is that the village looks really sick. Like, look at the footage. It looks sick. But what's really cool is, unlike before, we go through the buildings, not through buildings, in between buildings. Like before, you would go along the facade, but there was nothing inside. It was only like on the outside, right? But now you're going between buildings because you're going through the village, and then you go between the village and like the church, which is really cool. And it looks like to be a really cool entrance that they're building with some concrete and some stones going into the village, which is really cool, probably to shield your eyes from the village before you get into it. I would assume that's what it is, kind of like for Bolton, how the trees shield the building. You know, it's a big green building, you can see it. But the idea is that you don't see it, and a lot of Alpengeist is hidden and Loch Ness Monster is hidden. I think that's kind of what they're doing with that, is they want to kind of hide the village. For people that don't know, like we all know it's there, but for the general rider who's just going to Busch Gardens for the day, they don't know that's there, and it's a cool surprise, like, oh shoot, we're going to the buildings. And if you look at the footage, we get close to the buildings and pretty close to the ground, which is really cool because this is not going to be an intense coaster. It is a family inverted coaster. It's only going to go 40 miles per hour. You know, the height requirements are like, it's pretty modest. So it's not as crazy as the original one was. And the original one was a family coaster as well. And you know, they're not having that dive to the Rhine River. So what it seems like is that the designers really had the challenge of, we need to make it a family coaster, but also have something that's intense and daring for, you know, us thrill seekers. And I think having those really close calls with the ground and the close calls with the village, I think that really adds an element that I wasn't expecting. Like, I was expecting the facades to be there, but I wasn't expecting you to be that close. And you look at that stuff, like, you're going to feel right close. And I love that, like on Velocicoaster at Universal, like I felt like my head was about to hit that water. So those close calls are things that really help intensify the ride even more. And I love that. And I think they're really going all in with the theming. They talked about the theming in the building. They're going to have a bit of a longer queue than there was for Drachenfire when it was there. The entrance is going to start a little bit earlier, and it's going to go through what was the exit of Drachenfire. And then they're turning that building that you pass on the way there, they're turning that to the photo op building. And that's going to have a lot of theming in it, they've said. And then they're building a new building, which is going to be the lockers. They're really going all in on this, which is really sick. And when it comes to the opening date, they did not reveal it. They're starting testing in a couple weeks. The track is 100% complete. They're doing electrical work on the track now. If I had to guess, I don't think it's going to make the 50th birthday party, which is like May 6th, it's somewhere around there, or May 5th, May 6th. I don't think it's going to make it. I think it's probably going to be mid to late May if they're just starting riding testing and they say they're still a couple months out and they still got a lot of theming to do and they're still building the building for the lockers. I think that we got some time before we're going to get the ride. I don't think it's going to quite make it, but I think maybe because there's going to be the members only 50th birthday party for the park, I have a theory that that's going to be maybe the first day for members only rides. If not, they're definitely going to give a tour. There's going to be some involvement of Big Bad Wolf into that members birthday party celebration thing. Now, what extent Big Bad Wolf has in that, whether it's first ride or a tour of the whole thing before they start operating, either one I'd be personally okay with. Like we said in several videos ago, the ride's going to go at 40 miles per hour, which is slower than the original Big Bad Wolf, but it's a different manufacturer, and it's going to be a different layout. It has a 2 lift hills, just like the original one did. Obviously not going down to the Rhine River because Bolton has that spot. But I think it's really cool. They said the idea for doing this Big Bad Wolf, the president said, you know, a lot of people ask about the Big Bad Wolf. It's probably the ride people talk about the most of the rides that aren't there anymore. That, and he mentioned specifically Le Mans Raceway. Now, I don't think that means anything specifically, but I'll probably make a video in the future talking about what could they do with the Le Mans Raceway IP, because it is popular. They do kind of wave that little thing in front of you like, hey, you remember this ride? But I think it's really cool that they are diving back to the IP. And my first Busch Gardens video I made outside of the vlogs was talking about the importance of IP at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. And to hear President Kevin talk about how important the Big Bad Wolf IP is and having your own original IP and the importance of capitalizing on that, that was music to my ears, because that's what I've been talking about since I started making these videos 2 years ago, was the importance of Busch Gardens capitalizing on their own IP. And that's what I love, like capitalizing on Loch Ness Monster, you know, keeping Alpengeist around, you know, keep Tempesto around, you know, keep all these original ideas and the ones that and like Dark Castle and Dark Coaster, and then the ones that you've lost, find new ways to bring them back. I'm really glad that he said that. That makes me really happy. It gets me really excited. And speaking of excitement, there are plans for 2026. It looks like we are going to be getting a new attraction in 2026. Now, what that attraction is, we don't know. But it does seem, I'm picking apart what President Kevin was saying. It looks like it's not going to be taking over a building, because we know they are going to put something in Da Vinci's Cradle spot. There's probably going to be something in Mock Tower's old spot. They're going to probably try something again in the simulator building in Ireland. This seems like it's going to be a new spot. That's what it seems like, because the way he talked was, big thing right now is figuring out where to put it. So if you're trying to figure out where to put it, then that means it's probably not going to be in one of the other 3 spots. So what could it be? I don't know. Probably not a roller coaster. I would assume not a roller coaster. I'm assuming it's going to be some type of the real flat ride, but who knows? There's nothing out right now. No rumors. And if there were rumors, guys, I don't talk about the rumors anymore. I'll wait till it's been said by the park before I say anything, because I want to be their best friend. Like, invite me to the tours, Busch Gardens, please. But yeah, I think the fact that he's being open, that there is a 2026 attraction, I think there is definitely something they're excited about, because if they're already going to go ahead and speak about it while they're still working on advertising the one that's actually opening this year, it's probably something pretty cool and pretty impressive that they want to go ahead and get the murmurs out. That's like, oh, Busch Gardens is doing another new ride next year. And they've always said, even at the last membership town hall, that it is very important for them to keep adding rides and rides, because the capacity of the park and attendance of the park is going up. They want to add more rides to get people moving around a lot more. And if you go check out my last video, they say they're having trouble finding space. And if you want to know why they're having trouble, go check out one of my last videos of Could Busch Gardens Expand. That will kind of tell you everything you need to know regarding that. They have land, it's just how they can use the land with some of the neighboring communities and stuff. That's where a lot of the hoops that they have to jump through lie. There's a lot of things he mentioned, the ravine that the Colonial Pipeline goes through the park, and they can build on that, but it's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to build on that. So it's a lot of stuff that they have to go through to build new rides for the park and build new land, because of all the electrical and plumbing work that goes into building any type of ride, whether that's a roller coaster, flat ride, or even just a building, just a regular building. Just want to kind of go over these things from the Big Bad Wolf. It seems like they're really excited about it, and the more that they revealed from this hard hat tour gets me more excited, because we're going to get a lot. It's going to be pretty intense for what is a really tame family coaster. There's going to be a lot of close calls with the ground and with the village, and I'm super excited to experience it for myself in a couple months. So let me know down below, guys, are you excited for the Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge? You got to be. If you have known Busch Gardens for more than 16 years, you've got to be hyped about this. And if you have never experienced the Big Bad Wolf, I cannot wait for you to experience this next generation version of the Big Bad Wolf. And like they said, they're not trying to replace what was. They're just trying to find the next generation of this story, of this IP. And that's what's really awesome, of not trying to replace the past. And that's all you can ask for. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed. Make sure that bell button down below so notified every single time I upload a brand new video to the channel. Make sure to go stream my song Sunglasses wherever you listen to your music. Go check out the Patreon. Bunch of behind the scenes content and exclusive Busch Gardens vlogs there for you guys to see. And my name is Will Morris, and I'm out. Peace.